Jim Jordan here, speaking to you about a citizen's legal education. When Benjamin Franklin was asked what form of government we have, he said, a republic if you can keep it. He didn't say we have a democracy. He certainly didn't say we had a monarchy. It was a republic. So what is a republic? Most of us grow up thinking we live in a democracy. We actually live in a constitutional republic. The way you can distinguish republic from democracy is a democracy is the rule of the majority. If the majority will something to be, whether it's the legislators or a popular vote, it's the law. But in America, we know that can't be the case necessarily. If the majority want to pass a law that says Christianity or Judaism is the national religion, it's unconstitutional, because freedom of religion is protected by the First Amendment. In a republic, the country is ruled by law, not by people, not by humans. That's the number one thing. We live in a republic where minority rights are respected, regardless of what the majority wants. The other key element that we have in the United States is we have a federal system. A federal system is where there is power that is shared between a central national government and local, state, or provincial governments. In the United States, it's states, obviously. The original 13 colonies came together and they created the federal government. So state governments came first and then they created the national government. The key to federalism is that there are limited powers given to the national government. The reason being that it was believed by the founders of the Constitution that power can be corrupted. And the more powers in one area, the more likely it would be corruptible to those in power. States, however, are closer to the people, closer to the citizens. The citizens actually may even know their local representatives, local House of Representatives, or their mayor, or their governor. They actually have a better chance to have an influence at that local, closer to home level. The national government is far away. In modern America, of course, it's on the East Coast. For those of us on the West Coast, it's 3,000 miles away, and most of us feel we have very little impact on the national government. Recently, a study was done that showed that, in fact, the public will has very little to do with laws that are passed. It has more to do with corporate interests. On top of that, the Bill of Rights and individual liberty is diminishing in the United States. More and more of a police state is developing in the United States under the auspices or the pretense of national security. So what can we do about this? What can we, average citizens, do about the decline in freedom in the United States and the concentration of power in the United States, in the central government and the federal government? Well, for those of us who've thought about this carefully and have investigated options, there is one thing, one legal mechanism that goes back to the founding of the country that we can use to put a check on uncontrolled power in the federal government. And that is through state nullification of unconstitutional federal laws. In my next video, I'll go into more detail about that and what that means and what is the legal precedent for that and how it's actually in operation today, right now. I hope this was helpful for you and interesting. This is Jim Jordan for Citizens Legal Education.